Heyo everyone, it is the Loki Monster here, and I do apologize. Last week my internet decided to up and die, and I couldn't bring you the update on the Djinn dungeon. But the challenge dungeon is very similar, it's just a little more complicated. So the first one we had the rematch and you get the Djinn treasure. And the second one we have the Djinn challenge treasure. Now these are used to craft the new Djinn sets. Now we also have a gauntlet challenge, which is doing both dungeons twice and winning them. All three of those are dailies, and then we have a repeatable clear the Labyrinth of Persistence. Now this one gives you a little extra essence for the crafting and can easily be completed as you're running the challenge dungeon. So last week we had the Djinn crafting added, and it was the original mystical Djinn robes. Now we have a menacing version as well, and these require pieces from the challenge. Now this is the original, and now the menacing, which is a black and red set, and it is quite lovely. Now you can check these out yourself, because this video is about how to navigate and beat the dungeon, and it is quite lengthy as that. We also have a Fallen Sunkeeper armor set, which is a lot more attractive than the original, I think. And you need to trade your original Sunkeeper armor that dropped from the different pyramids and challenges in Sand Sea. Now you also need the Sandstone alloy that was the daily quest to do with Nigel, so I hope you kept doing that. And we also have the Djinn toys available for DC. They're 750 DC a piece, and they're ginormous. So the first thing I'm going to suggest for mobile people is to go to your settings. The lag will kill you in this dungeon, and that is the #1 complaint. So we're going to drop it as low as possible. That should reduce your lag some. Now the drops from these dungeons are the menacing sword, the menacing blaster, and the menacing hammer, as well as the bow and the Fallen Sunkeeper sword. Now, if you also are still having lag issues, lose the pets, lose the chat bubbles, lose anything that's excess. Now, in the first original dungeon, I'm just going to point out the Sunkeeper sword has been added. Now, the Labyrinth of Persistence that we're running, you also have a rare chance of getting the Djinn's turban. Now, when you first come in, you have your choice of going left or right, which is irrelevant because they lead to the same hall. Now, most people go to the left, and they head to the first entrance they see, which is marked with a green and red statue. Well, this is actually going to take you on an extra amount of weaving back and forth that is totally unnecessary. So I am going to the left. Now, we're going past that first gate you saw, that first doorway, and then you'll see a statue there with a blue crystal and another one. Now, you want to come in here. Now keep to the right, and you'll see an entrance on this side. Now from here you want to stay on the left hand side, and as soon as you get to this point you want to do a sharp turn and then turn again. Now I'm going to go on the right hand side. It really doesn't matter if you go left or right, but the right hand side is longer. And I have reached the crystal room. When I click on this, a boss mummy and several other ones will spawn. Now, a lot of people want to kill these ahead of time. It is a lot easier to get free afterwards, but it is difficult to take them down as a single person. If you're working as a team, then you're very well off. Now, we're heading back out, and we're back in this section, and we're going to take that sharp turn again. And this is the quicker way out, and you can already see the glimpse of the blue glowing gate balls that you're just going to run down through. Now when we get through here, we're back in the main hallway that we came down in the first place, and that's the blue statue that was ahead of us, and we're just going to weave through this section, and with this turn here, you're going to find the gate to the green section, and then turn right. And you can already see the red statue, and we're going to turn right and find us a section for the red and green, and immediately go towards the right and keep going down, down, down. Now when you turn this corner here, you will see a green glow. Take a hard right and you will be in the green section. Keep going right, and when you come out you see the entrance here. We just cut down to that entrance, and again we want to go hard right because the other way is a dead end. And when we loop around, again right, and left or right in this section is totally up to you. And we are at the green crystal. So I'm going to go out the opposite way to show you. I actually like to leave this way because of the pattern of the bomb drops that you will see later. And now we're going back out the glowy lights, and we're going to left, hard right, and you can already see the green glow. Head towards them. You will see this green statue. You want to go on the left side of that and just follow along the path. And then you will come to the last of the green glowy lights and you will see a red statue. Now we're going to head down towards the red statue and we're going to take a right. And of course you have to go right again. And you see these white lights, head down through there and turn hard right. I missed that. And cut down here and you see the red glowy lights again. Now this time you want to go right. Well, you don't really have a choice. You have to go right and it just weaves back and forth, back and forth. And this time you're going to go to the left and back to the right and through this gate and again right. And the red section is really the most confusing section, but now we're in the main area and you just have to loop around and see the crystal. Now I'll go out the opposite way to show you that because it actually is easier to get out that way as well. And I want to point out this common mistake that I see so many people making. They see these lights ahead of them and they automatically head there. No, head to the doorway on the other side. Oops, if you get hit like this, just take your time and turn around again. And now we're just following the path back through the weaving back and forth. Until you get to this final section where you want to pull really hard right. You don't want to go down into that other section. Now you come down to these lights and you're going to turn right again. And another hard right. You see the statue there? Now you're going to go left and left again and you're back at the red statue and the green section. Now we're going to go right and then back up right. Now we're heading back to where you've seen the red and green statues that we entered, and you will see the green statues here on my right. Now we're heading towards the left. You'll see a wall in front of me and you want to go to the left side of that, and then you just saw a flash of white lights. You want to head towards those and you want to head through them. You'll see a statue in front of you. You want to go to the right. You'll see a yellow one. Now you're on the right track. Now there's an opening right here. You want to turn. You'll see these lights ahead of you. Head towards them. Now we're going right again and you see the yellow statue and you just saw a flash of yellow. Now you're heading towards that and you'll see the yellow gate. You want to go right at this point and then you have to turn to the left. You see the statue ahead of me. You don't want to go to the right. You want to go to the left and through the gates. Now this section is the crystal section. It doesn't matter if you go left or right, but this is the shorter direction. But I will show you the other direction on the way out. So now that we have all the crystals activated, we just have to head to the boss portal room. So we just head on out the yellow gate. And this time when we get to this point, we're going to go to the right hand side. And then we just head down the hall, we'll come to the gate, and then we want to go to the right hand side and follow that down and then turn right again. And right through this gap, you'll see the white lights, and this is the boss portal room. Now when you enter the boss portal room, your entire party will be transported there with you. So in order to make a more comprehensive guide, I sandwiched together 2 different videos, so now I have a full party. But you can successfully complete this dungeon with 3 or 4 people in your party. Now I suggest using a ranged class to face off a Calno Bree, and I recommend zooming out as far as possible so you can watch the floor for the attack patterns. Now he has 4 different major attacks with the different weapons that he carries. Now if you stay behind him, you can relatively avoid all of these. They are quite serious and will kill you. And his worst attack is the bow, and you need to get clear of it, and even so, it glitches sometimes. And I wanted to make sure that you were all aware that this glitch does exist, and hopefully it will be fixed. Now, when you respawn, you're just right in front of the gate, and you just re-enter. Now, re-entering can be tricky. I recommend trying to head off to the left or right immediately. If you go in a straight line, he may be waiting to attack you. So there isn't much more I can show you about fighting the boss. It's very straightforward, so I'm going to skip ahead to when he throws you back out into the labyrinth. Now when he does this, like I said, there will be a mummy boss and several mummies that had spawned at the crystals. Now if you had fought and killed them off, they will not be here. If not, they will be there. So what works best here? Run, fight? Well, both. Have 1 or 2 people who really know the dungeon and can get their way back, run while the rest of you fight and kill them off and keep them away from the people who are heading back. Now you see there is flaming debris falling from the sky, and there are red circular attack patterns. Now you will see a center circle growing. When that circle grows to the full width of the outside, the attack will drop. Now you can avoid these by weaving, or you can avoid them by simply stopping long enough to letting them pass. This is a lot better alternative than getting hit. You can survive a little bit of a clip on the edge of one of these, but if you're hit full on, you will die. And I almost made a wrong turn. Go back this way. The other direction leads to the red section. Now, if you remember me taking you through this section to head over to the yellow section to head back to the portal, it is basically the exact same route. Now, you are on a timer. You have a 10-minute timer. Now, this timer continually ticks down anytime any member of your party is outside the boss room. Now this is 10 minutes in total, and you will have to get back from all 4 crystals. At this point, where we're normally entering the yellow section, we would have went right. We're going to go to the left hand side, and when we get to this point, we're going to go left again and then right. Now we'll just follow this hallway. When we turn this corner, you'll see these lights, and then you will find yourself back at the boss room. Now once you enter the portal again, your entire party will come back, and it will stop the timer. Now from this point on, anytime one of your party members dies and they're outside the boss room, the clock will start ticking, and you will start losing time off of your total time to get back from all the other crystals, so it's important to get back into the boss room as quick as possible. The next crystal room it takes you to is the yellow, and if you've been hit by the boss, you know that you can't get into your travel form until you've exited combat. So you might have to do a little bit of walking until you can get free. Now you're going to come out the gate, and after the gate you want to immediately go to the right, and you want to head down the right hand hall. When you reach the end of the hall, you'll see another yellow ball gate, and you want to go right again. And with this, just head right, and coming up on your right, you will see the glowing balls of the boss portal room, and then you just have to go back into the portal. So the next crystal section is going to send you to is the blue crystal room. And even on the low settings, I got a little laggy here. Now, when you're fighting these mobs, if you take out the smaller ones first, it is a lot easier than trying to kill the boss first and having all these other ones hit you. And when you go out the door, you want to head to the right and down this hallway, and you'll see another gate in front of you, and you can only go left. And this is where I made a mistake in this one that I don't often make. When I get to this point, I should have turned immediately to the right, which was the path I showed you earlier, but a lot of people accidentally come straight down here, so it's good to show you that you can actually continue this direction. It will take you around in a square loop and then back to the door. Normally I would have come from the direction in front of me and I would have been able to see this gate, but you just take a hard right and you can see the gate, and then you just need to get back out, head down the hall on the right hand side, do the weave again, you'll come back around to the green. Now you go back through the white gates, back to the right, there's your yellow statue, through the opening on the left to the gate, keep to the left, keep going to the left, and you're back at the boss room. And the next section will be the red crystal, and this is the last one. It is the furthest away, and it is the most complicated to find your way back from. So I'm going to go out the right side, and once again, do not be fooled by this hallway ahead with the glowing balls. That is a misdirection. You want to go out this little exit here. It's a little tricky getting out this side, so I tend to just kind of loop around the edge. Now you need to weave all the way back through. As you can see, I am sticking as close to the wall as possible. And when you get out this last gate, you want to immediately head to the right and through the glowing gate and immediately to the right. And I overshot my turn a little bit, got a little bit confused, but turned myself back around, and then I'm heading to the left. And now I'm back in the green section, so this is exactly the same way that you head back from the green section to the gate. Now you've been through this section several times at this point, and you should have a pretty good idea of the pattern. Now this time, somebody actually beat me back, and I am not the best at this, believe me. The key to beating this dungeon is to know where you're going. Now once you beat the boss, you will receive some crafting materials, a tablet for the Wishmaster title. You just use that to get the title and possibly one of the drops. You can hand in your quest right here as well. I'd like to ask you at this time, if you like my videos, please hit that thumbs up and subscribe. And one last thing before I leave, if you re-enter the portal, you will find this curtain of sand. Now, due to a glitch, we did see that there is some type of chest behind this. And now there is a clue as to how to pass it. You must possess the power of 3 elements. We've had 3 pyramids that all have to do with elements. What these 3 items are, we have yet to find out the right combination. Someone's gonna figure it out. Maybe you will. I want to thank you for joining me, and I made this as short as I possibly could. I hope it helps. Goodbye.